Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting or including me, so I'm really happy. And like you already said, my name is Nicole Fryns. I work at the Goethe Institute, and I'm really delighted to be here today with Amel Alzakout. You already said the co-director of the film Purple Sea. And I think my first question will be quite easy. So how are you and what are you doing at the moment?
Hi Nicole, hi everyone. Again, thanks really for having me here. The situation is not very pleasant. I don't know also how it will develop now with the COVID. It seems like we are stuck forever there. But I think maybe it's an unfortunate thing that we got used to it a bit. So we start to find out how to work in this environment, how to do things. I'm doing well. I'm supposed to start my study in April, the specialty study at the university. I'm studying media, art and media, and I'm working on a new project right now. I'm working on I'm developing it little by little, but I hope. I mean, when the situation is really better, I think it will be a different phase for the project itself.
But happy to hear that you're well. That's good news. Yeah, coming to your film, I need to admit it was quite. Actually, watching the film, it did something with me because on one hand, it was so. I would even say poetic, like with the colors, the sound, and really, poetic and beautiful. But then on the other hand, the contrast, it was quite terrifying and, really uneasy. And I think the contrast shocked me most to see what it actually, or to understand what it actually means, what the film was showing. So fantastic. And I think it's really important to have a film like that, not only 2020 or 2021. I think the last decade, especially with our society, in my opinion, getting more and more, would you say anticized? Would you say that? It's like, there's desensitized. Yeah, sorry. So I think it's really important to have a film like that and to watch a film like that. So my first question would be, because you went on the boat or on the journey with your camera and you recorded everything, and you couldn't know what would happen on the sea. So why did you took your camera, or why did you record everything on the way to Germany?
It's, I mean, at the beginning, the whole trip wasn't something that was expected for me. It came after like trying many times to apply legally to come to Germany because my partner was already there, and it's all my tries have failed actually. And when I came to the point that this is the only way is possible, it was very important to me to record it. It was very important to keep this memory because it was something big. I haven't ever thought that I would go on such a trip. And it was an adventure. I mean, it was something like I have to do, but at the same time, I wanted to make it an adventure, maybe just to feel that. I mean, this is maybe how we deal with things, like to make us feel safe in a way. So I wanted to record that trip. I started to record it from the beginning, and there was also like I also wanted to share it with Khaled because he was worried all the time that how would you go on this trip and wait for me, I come and we go together. And I just wanted to show it to him also. I start to film it from the moment we took the bus from Istanbul to Izmir, and it's 15 hours by bus. I was filming like mostly all the time, intentionally. I was very focused until the moment that we went on the boat, and when the boat collapsed, I wasn't in control of the camera at that time. So
yeah, and I read somewhere that you had the camera taped on your arm because you knew that the smuggler didn't really wanted anyone to film anything. Or
actually, exactly. I had many cameras. Actually, I had the camera of my mobile phone. I had a small camera, and I had the waterproof camera. The waterproof camera was the smallest, was the easiest to hide. I was afraid, of course, if the smugglers will see me. And there was one moment when we were on the boat, and a guy was filming in his mobile when the smuggler came and took the mobile and deleted. So I was scared. And this is the moment where I tied the camera to my wrist and I put it under my sleeve and kept it open. So after that, I always say in every interview, I say that this is the camera perspective because it's important to say that. I wasn't aware of what the camera is filming, and I think nobody would be aware in such a situation.
Yeah, I think that makes everything even more real and more terrifying to see, because knowing that you weren't aware and that it was happening without doing something or without you being actually involved or deciding what you want to film. So when you speak about the footage, when was the first time then that you watched the footage from the camera? Was it shortly after, or were you alone, or I don't know?
It was almost after 3 weeks from the trip. I arrived to Athens, and because of the situation, and we were physically unable to continue the road, I had to stay for 2 weeks at a friend's house. So I didn't see the footages. I knew it filmed because I saw it on. And the camera doesn't have a screen. You cannot see. I mean, it doesn't have a screen, but there's a small light that it's on. So I waited until I got to Berlin and I watched it. It was completely different thing. It was shocking for me to see it because, as I said, it's not my perspective. I never thought I would see such a thing. I think for me it was shocking, like for anybody else, because at the moment I was curious. I was looking for something I saw. And I was looking for moments I lived. There is sometimes, of course, I mean, what you see in the film is mostly under the water. The footages I have, it's mostly it's above water. So there are some moments where I see like what I've seen in the reel, when my hand is like going up and down and moving. Yeah, but I think it was shocking, but at the same time, I wasn't. The impact was less than on me than anybody else. For instance, for Khaled, it took him like almost a year to see the whole thing. He was sometimes watching when I'm watching, like just coming. For him, it was much difficult to see it because. He didn't see. I mean, it was for him like his partner is there, and for me, yeah, it felt like more. As I said, like more on I was more curious than anything else. Yeah.
I don't know if that's too personal, but just when you spoke about it, did you, when you saw the footage, was it like seeing yourself, or was it like seeing a different scene, something totally different, nothing to do with yourself?
No, it was like seeing myself. Actually, I saw myself literally because the camera was sometimes like this, and I could see my face. And this was one of the most painful moments because it's very hard to see yourself in this tragic situation, and of course it brings some memories, and but at the same time, I mean, to be there, to be as a victim, was something really very painful for me. I mean, and as long as the footages are with me, that was totally fine. But yeah, I think it's.
Thank you also for sharing something so personal with us. Yeah, so now it's 2020. I know film takes a long time, but when exactly did you decide to make a film out of it? And yeah, so what was the idea, or the why did you decide it, and when did you decide to do this?
It was in 2000. I arrived in 2015 in Berlin. In 2016, almost at the end of it, at the beginning, there was no idea of making a film at all. I mean, it wasn't. We started to think how we could use the footages as an evidence to see who's responsible about this, and how to work on it legally, on a legal way. Then we start to look. We called lawyers, and also we were in Khaled also worked with forensic architecture. You probably know about them. They are very much specialized in humanitarian events. They construct the crime scene. We call it a crime scene, of course, and they construct the whole thing and deconstruct. And so it was great we invited them over. They saw the footages, and we talked, and we know how do they work. So it was also the way that we wanted to work on this case, let's say, or this. They did the investigation film. At the same time, we made Purpose C. So we went legally at the beginning, but then it was also very much important to work on it from a personal level, from the perspective of someone who lived it, or the people who are around it, as Khaled, as Pong, the producers, who are also our friends. Because I mean, if you go to the media and you see everything, it's always like somebody's talking about these people who are coming from. So it's, I mean, for me, I mean, I have never seen the story of the person who's being exposed in the media or something. So that was the reason why we wanted to do this film. We just wanted to tell what is not being told usually. And it was a good chance. Yeah.
No, but I think that's absolutely what I got from the film, because like you said, it's always the collective, but there you really, with your narrative, especially or your voiceover, I really thought, yeah, you get the subject of the person, the individuum, you get to know the person itself, herself. So yeah, fantastic. So because I just said something about your voiceover, I thought it was really, I really liked the fact that you didn't speak English or German in the voiceover. Was this from the beginning planned, or did it came in the process of creating the text, or how did you decide to do this?
Yes, and my mother tongue is Arabic, so I really feel much comfortable to speak in it. And also, I think it doesn't make sense to make. I mean, we know it could be that many of the migrant and refugees speaks English, of course, but it's still like it will feel weird to hear somebody speaking it. The voiceover and the text started to be developed at later stages. Actually, at the beginning, we were figuring out how what do we want to say, how do we want to tell the story, and it was quite at the beginning, we knew what we don't want to say. We didn't want to tell about what happened because you can see it. I mean, and I think everybody knows about it. It's in the news every day. So, but what we wanted really to say, and it was the fact that what is the mindset of somebody who's in that situation. The most important thing in these moments is, and this is like this applies for every human being, is that what do you think in your, this is what makes us also individuals. To think, what do you think about? You think about your family, your loved ones, you think about your memories. And I think this was the most important thing. It's just really like this what made the story different from the stories that we hear. Again, I will say in the media, because I had the feeling that we are all the time, the media we are being seen as numbers, as group of people. You forget literally like instantly about what you heard about. It's like heartbreaking story, but then it's like it vanishes, nothing is there. So this is how we start to write, and I have to mention here the dramaturgist Philip, Alex, and Merle from Pong. They really did a great job, like with how to work with within the text and between the text and the image. How do they meet, and how do they give that perspective?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can tell. It's just my impression, but I even had the impression it was quite poetic the way the text was combined or was created. So I think it was really, really strong to have this on the pictures on the film. So thank you for that. No, I'm really grateful that I could, or that I have seen the film, because I really think it's important to see something like that. So everywhere. So yeah, thank you therefore. Yeah, I still have many more questions, but I just thought if someone from the audience would like to ask a question, so please feel free to write something in the chat box. Otherwise, I will continue or will ask everything I wanted to know. Yeah, because we spoke about the water, and most of the film, or nearly all of the scenes are in the water. Was it a decision to take the water scenes, or did it came in the process of cutting everything, or why did you use the water scenes?
It was a decision from the beginning that we don't want to show the violence that is happening above the water. It's not that it's not important. It's very important, and it's very strong. But I don't think also, I mean, I know that the underwater footage is beautiful as well, but it's also painful. So it's not just like cutting the painful part. It is there, but it's in a different. It's just on a different level. And as I told you in the beginning, I believe that nobody would like to see themselves in such a situation. And there was all the time faces, and we had to also to find a solution. To take that out with the editing of Philip Shefna. It was amazingly done. It feels like one long image, but it is not. I mean, he worked really hard on it, and I think it's just the right decision.
But now that you say with one image, I actually thought it was like maybe one scene, one image, or one. So I didn't even notice that it was cut and put together. So
because what really helped was the movement of my hands above and under the water. But it's like there are like very long shots under the water, but yes, it is edited.
Great. Yeah, I see that someone asked a question. I don't know if I say the name properly. Who Wal? I don't know if you want to ask yourself live, or would you rather prefer us to read it for you?
No, yeah, I can give it a go. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so really it's just, I think you just mentioned it there as well, that the film is incredibly beautiful, or at least I experienced the imagery as just very beautiful imagery, going along with the kind of poetic aspect of it and the poetry. So yeah, it was a strange experience to obviously be seeing something very painful, but to be seeing something very beautiful at the same time. So I guess it's not a very fully formed question. It's more just kind of, I'm just wondering how aesthetics can deal with this kind of stuff, and if, yeah, what you think about that essentially.
Thank you so much. I also I love poets, so it's something like I really enjoyed when we started to develop the text, and when we see the images, when we see the very very minor details, which really I think stay longer than with us as human beings. I think it's just like the memories that I'm saying in the calm voice you said. Like it's first of all, I'm talking from now. I'm talking from after the incident. So it's something. It's very important to reflect the situation there, and I also think in the calm voice that I have, there's also anger. It's there, but it's maybe like not very much like shown in a direct way. But how these both the text, how is it telling the story and the memory behind it, with seeing these details in the water. I think it's kind of giving the space for the spectator to just breathe, but at the same time, it's kind of I don't know. It's a bit for me. It's a bit difficult to explain how we are not directing you as a spectator. We don't want to tell you what to feel about exactly, but at the same time we are directing you because we made this film in this way. So I think it's really important just to give the free space to the audience to just connect with it, and they will connect with it. It's not hard. It's just I think, I mean, the impact of it, it might be really hard, but at the same time, you could easily, let's say, connect because it's details that you could feel, and it's also the I form, for instance, in the text. It could be any I. It's not just me, Amel. It's the other 300 people who were on the boat, and there is also the you form, which is it's talking to the lover, the partner, and also to the audience as individuals. So I think this is the most important moment where we connected with others. Yeah. I hope I answered question, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think for me, it's that multi-layered thing which makes it. Again, I don't want to say enjoyable to watch, but I suppose that, yeah, what I'm trying to get at is that as well as that level of pain, there's this level of beauty, and the kind of being submerged and being kind of suffocated, that feeling coming up for air and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Brilliant. Really good question. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just thinking about your answer and about the beauty and the pain. So yeah, I'm just still thinking about it, and I totally agree. Yeah, maybe because you said about that you wanted the audience to experience by themselves or to make their own point of view. So is there still something in it where you would say, okay, that's my main message, that's something I really want to bring over, or that's something I really would like everyone to get, to understand, or maybe to experience in the film?
I don't wish anybody to experience.
No,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I totally understood you. I just want to say I really sometimes I get this from people like, why do you want us to feel this? And I totally understand it, because you don't have to if you don't want. But I think like I don't have a particular message that I wanted to deliver to people, like from the like very specific. It was like the whole idea of like making them hear the story in the way that we want to tell. But I can say that there was also a very specific moment, and I think it's maybe one of the strongest like chapters in the film, let's say, which is the helicopter thing. I can't hide my anger toward the media, like, because we are consuming it, right? I mean, it's just like not something that you could ignore, and it's like you think it's not exist. It exists, and we need to speak up at some level to just change kind of things, or also contribute. So we say that we did something, but this moment actually it's important because it's also on the real event. In the real event, it was the only moment when I held the camera up to film the helicopter, because I saw them filming. And this was, for me, it was a shocking moment, because we were waiting for hours. And I felt I was so much frustrated, and I felt that's it. I mean, they are not going to help. They are filming that. And if they are doing that, then I'm filming them, and somebody should see this. So that's why also the text about the helicopter is very important for me.
I heard you being angry in the film, but I was angry with you, and I thought it was so unhuman to see this and to see how everyone would struggle. So yeah, I know after the film was shown in, I think the Berlinale was the premiere. So did you receive, or how was the film received, and did you get anything from, like, maybe from media side or from any side regarding to the film, or what was the reception, more or less, or political reception too? I mean, that's a big political topic and really important to speak about. So
yeah. We were lucky actually to have the premiere physical premiere in Berlinale, and it was really important because it was just very important to be present in the cinema space, to speak with the people. The most good moment was when people who are related to the story were between the audience. Some of them were volunteers, and they have rescued our people from our boat on that day. So it felt like, I mean, everybody knows, like, just the story is being actually told from their perspective as well. I mean, I never met them before. So I think we got usually different different feedbacks. Some of it, like some, of course, I mean, I could talk a lot about the positive ones, which is really more about the political message, the humanitarian message, and it's amazing how people could really feel with. It is intense time, but it's also like an abstract space. So it's amazing to see how people could feel more in such a screen than to speak directly about what happened. Some of the feedback were not very much satisfied with the little information that we provided, because I still remember one feedback was talking about how romanticizing the film is, like why it is so romanticizing, and that's it. And I understand that. It's like, I understand the frustration, because some people feels that it is romanticizing to show, not to talk about, like they feel that these are evidence. What happened is really big, and we need to change something. But unfortunately, this is romanticizing actually. So it's just like I guess my answer was that the important part is just for us is to tell the story from the personal perspective, and this is the personal perspective, and it is romanticizing. It's not something that, it is a love letter. Some people call it love letter, and I like it a lot, because it is a love letter, and it's not only for the lover. It could be on the shore, the people who are on the shore, could be a family member, could be friends, could be, and we don't usually hear about them. And this was something really important to include the you, to have the you there, because we are equally concerned with this event, with this story. So I think we had a lot of positive feedback, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. Like in the media, we had the critic articles, and it was really very nice to read about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think after watching the film, I would love to have like everyone watching it and get aware of the situation, or get to know you, get to know the situation. So that's why I was so focused on the reception. We have another question from Danny Clyde. I don't know if you would like to ask the question yourself, or if you will. Just checking. Yeah. Or would you rather prefer us to read the question, or? Wait, maybe. Yes, please. Okay. Yeah, I can read. I was very touched by the story of your cat, and that you took it with you and even sent it to Germany. If only we lived in a world where humans could just go on the plane to where you reunited with your cat in Berlin. I am too shy to ask my question yet. And also trying to entertain my cat at the same time.
Thank you so much. It's very, very lovely of you. I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, you have a cat, you can know how much they are important creatures. We were reunited in Berlin. Yes, he was there almost a month before, because I sent him. Then I also stayed in Athens for 2 weeks, so it's almost a month when we met. And he's doing very well. Actually, he was here.
Yeah, thank you, Danny, for asking. I didn't, to be honest, I read about your cat, but I didn't even, when I read the question, I didn't even thought about the cat first. So
yeah, maybe because you're seeing a dog behind me. It's my friend dog.
Yes. I don't know if are there other questions? Would you like to know something else, someone for the audience? Just waiting. Then I would probably say, will probably ask my last question, because I also wrote about it, and I was just curious because I know you already did video performances in your past. So I read somewhere that, I don't know if someone suggested to have like a video performance with the film or with the footage, or if it was your idea, I have no idea. But I thought, I just wanted to ask if you are planning to use the footage for something else in the future, or like a project.
I mean, I think we use them in the like film investigation of forensic architecture, and it's online. You could see it, and in the film, and I think that's it. I mean, I think the footage, that's it. I mean, we delivered the thing that we wanted, and I mean, except if there is a court, a legal place to give the, of course, but I think it's there was some stills have been used in the like in some articles, or like just one book, also in the UK, but that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm really, really grateful that I was able to speak with you, and I'm so grateful you shared your story, because I know it's quite a personal story and a lot of pain. So thank you very much for speaking with me with it all so honestly and so openly. And like I said already, I think the film is fantastic, and I hope that many people will watch it. And thank you very much, and thank you for the festival to organizing this and to showing the film. So thank you very much, and
thank you so much, Nicole. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks everyone. Thanks, Alex. Everyone. Sorry, I don't know the other names. So thanks for the organizers as well.
And thank you, Amel. Really, really, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.